Hello, hello, good afternoon, and Happy New Year. The year that the world couldn't wait to arrive is here, and we are very, very excited. In person, I'm very excited. I'm always excited for New Year's, but this year in particular, I'm so excited. One, to see the back of 2020, and also looking forward to 2021, how things are going to pan out, and all the plans that we have going for us as a family and as a business, and of course as the plans to serve our community and to support businesses. So I have Blessing and Vanessa here that would be talking through with us about goal setting and how you can learn from that and also go set your goals in order to make a 2021 a better year. So welcome, girls, Blessing and Vanessa.
Thank you.
Hi.
Happy New Year to you both.
Happy New Year
Same
to
to
you
you.
How
too.
excited are you for 2020?
Very.
Very
Yeah.
excited.
I know. Okay, good. So we are going to talk about goal setting, and I think goal setting is one of the most challenging things for me in terms of entrepreneurship. How can you think of ahead of something that you want to achieve and actually go work and achieve it? But of course, goal setting is the thing that determines your ability to be able to achieve what it is that you want in life. How can you explain what goal setting is, Blessing, in your own words?
So I would say goal setting is kind of thinking too ahead of what you want to do or what you want to achieve with yourself, and kind of just sitting down and saying, okay, I want to be able to do this and that, and then from there maybe figuring out how to get it.
Awesome. What about you, Vanessa?
Well, for me, I would say goal setting is visualizing how you want to how you want to be in the future, and then looking at those different aspects of your future self, and then breaking down steps in order to achieve that future self.
Wonderful, wonderful. So today we are going to talk about when we talk about goal setting is in five. We call it the SMART goal setting, and that comes in five steps, which is S.M.A.R.T. So walk us through the S part of it, Vanessa, please. What?
So I believe the S stands for specific,
Mhm.
being specific about your goals. So, for example, if you said that you were going to lose weight this year, focusing on which part of your body you want to focus on. For example, if you want to focus on abs or your arms or something, and actually honing in on what you want to achieve, because I think that saying having a blanket statement like I want to lose weight can be very daunting, and it could end up with you not actually doing what you want to do.
Wonderful. What about you, Blessing? What would you say the S side for you means?
So again, S is specific, so kind of just saying what you specifically want to do. Because obviously, there's a lot of things you could choose to do. You can maybe say, I want to go out more, but that's really vague. You have to be specific, otherwise you're not really gonna be able to keep to the goal. Whereas if you were more specific to it and you know specifically what you wanted, then you're more likely to keep at it.
Awesome. So, in terms of being specific about going out, what would you say? Example of those being specific. What would you say they are?
So you could say, I want to go out to maybe a restaurant, or I want to go out, let's say once a month with friends. Um, however times you want to go out, and kind of just like actually give yourself days that you feel would be best for you to go out, and then stick to them.
Wonderful. With regards to that, Vanessa, what would you say the specific in terms of your example of specifics? Just any example that you could mention, please.
Okay, so for weight loss, like I said, maybe focusing on a specific body part like your abs or your arms or your legs, and then focusing on how you're going to do that as well. So whether like be specific about whether you're going to go to the gym to achieve that, whether you're going to go swimming to do that, if you're going to have to maybe set up a home space to do your fitness and yeah, that kind of stuff.
Awesome, wonderful. So yes, we've got it nailed in terms of it being specific enough. Then the next thing will be M, which is measurable. What's your take on that, please, Blessing?
So measurable, I would say, is like how much of the goal you want to achieve, or like how much you can actually like complete it, if that makes sense. So for example, if you say you want to go out, then then it should be measurable in the sense of like, okay, how long have you gone out, how long are you going out for, how many times are you going out, and then being able to actually follow through with it.
Great. So in terms of measurable, Vanessa, what would you say your take will be on how you can measure your goals and ensure that you actually achieve them?
Well, I guess going back to the example of losing weight, how much you want to lose, or even if you're doing weight gain, like muscle gain, how much you want to gain, and just working towards that so that you know that you're not overdoing it or underdoing it.
Awesome. So in terms of measurable, it's interesting you are using the area of weight loss because this time of the year is always the time that people are really keen on losing weight and writing all these goals. And of course, you see many people doing the morning runs and things like that. And then come February, March, you don't see anybody actually committing to it. But you having it honing in terms of measurability gives you that ability to actually keep on track, would you say?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Great. So the next thing is A. What would you say the A is, Blessing, as well as explaining it?
So the A is achievable. So how achievable is your goal? You could have, a really good goal, but if you actually can't achieve it, then there's no point in setting it out. So for example, if I said like I wanted to go on 10 different holidays this year, it's a goal, but it's not really achievable because what's going on? Do you have the money for it? So you definitely, when it comes to thinking about goals, you need to sit back and think, can I actually achieve this or not?
Great. What about you, Vanessa?
Well, I think it's good to be ambitious, but I think being realistic is slightly more important. So for example, if you can afford 10 holidays, then that is realistic. But if you can't afford that right now, and you don't have any plans on how you're going to make the money or make the time or have the resources to afford that, then there's not really a point in setting out that goal, because you already know that no matter how hard you work this year, you're not going to be able to achieve that yet. So maybe being a bit more realistic. For example, I'm going to go on holiday in this country 1 or 2 times, and then I'm going to set aside money for that every month. So yeah, so you're still pushing yourself, but just not to the point where it's impossible.
Wonderful. Yes. So I think you just kind of nailed that there because I was waiting to put that as a comment. So you nailed that in terms of pushing yourself, but not it looking impossible, because for you to be driven by a goal, you need to make it something that you have to work for it. Because if it's something that you can achieve, and I do this as an example of when your brother bought his Lego thing during the Christmas, and within a couple of hours he's already finished it. So if you set a goal that is not going to stretch you, then it's not it's a goal, okay, but it's not a goal that would make you grow in that sense. But then again, it has to be something that would that is attainable, that that it's if you push yourself, you would be able to achieve it. Now then we go to being realistic, or realistic. What would you say about that? I haven't explained it, or relevant, I'd say.
So relevant, I guess, whether it kind of makes sense in your life to actually like be going for that goal. Because say for example, you're like in school and you're studying and then you decide like again to go on holiday, like that's not that relevant in regards to like your what you're doing right now, because obviously your goals should be focused more on doing school rather than like going on holiday and spending your time on that, I'd say.
That's really interesting because because as young people, and I think that even as adults, the human body always is seeking comfort where you are feeling comfortable. That is where you want to be. But then, of course, you have to also stay disciplined to be able to move towards, for instance, if you are in school, you need to ensure that you are learning to be able to get there. But if your goal is to be going on holiday every now and then, of course, it's not relevant to what you say you want to do in terms of you achieving good grades. That's an excellent point, Blessing. What about you, Nessa?
I guess ranking your goals in terms of how badly you want each one. So for example, if I'll use losing weight just for continuity, but losing weight, if you want to lose weight but that's not your main priority, then going out and spending your most of your time on that just doesn't really make sense. So I guess just thinking which one is the most important to me right now, um, and then just focusing the majority of your time and your effort into that one.
Awesome. Now, the other thing with regards to it being relevant in terms of your goals is that, so for somebody might say that I want to, might set a big financial goal, for instance, and yet their core value is to be more with their family, have more time with their family. So yes, it's a goal, okay, and it's a goal that would bring you the finances or the money that you desire. But of course, it is not aligning with your values in terms of what you want, actually, what you really want. Yes, if with money, for instance, you can have enough money to be able to look after your family, and that would be okay for some people. Some people might want more. So if you look at another person's goal of, they are at this point in their life, maybe 6-figure, 7-figure a business that they are running, you've got to think about, okay, how much time are they putting in it? And is that what you really want? So in terms of relevance, that is quite important. The last but not the least in this SMART acronym is T, time bound. Blessing, take it away.
So with time bound, it's kind of just like giving yourself time, not time, but like giving yourself like a certain time frame.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. A time frame of like how you want to achieve your goal. So for example, if you do want to go on holiday, then there's no point in giving yourself like a month to go on holiday. It's better to give yourself the whole year, or like give yourself a certain time frame, because then obviously one, you can work towards like getting the money for the holiday, planning it, maybe you want to go with people, and then also it just means that like when you do actually go on it, because everything's already planned and everything's already sorted, then you can actually just really enjoy yourself.
Absolutely. I like that point. Really enjoy yourself, because you don't want to go, especially if it's a holiday, you get to that holiday point and then perhaps you even come back and regret going because you have actually overspent in terms of your money. What about you, Nessa?
Yeah, similar to what Blessing said about the time frame. Because if you're giving yourself 6 months, let's say, to get to where you want to be, then you know that you can spread out your efforts and spread out the amount of work instead of just rushing to do all of it at once and then ending up burning out and actually not enjoying yourself, and then maybe even regretting it by the time you get to that goal. And then also, I guess it kind of relates to being specific. So for example, if you said that you were going to go to the gym, setting a time frame for that. So I'm going to go to the gym every Saturday at 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. Because then you have time to actually prepare for that. And then also, then it's not, then you don't really have an excuse because you already know the exact time that you're going to be there. So yeah.
Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that in terms of walking us through the acronym of SMART goal setting. Now, in terms of goal setting as well, when you are setting goals, they have to be things that you like in respect to your life in general. Because for you to have a successful life, as whether you are running a business or you are whatever it is that you desire in life, it has to be something that makes your life holistic. So we are going to talk about the 7 F's of goal setting in terms of fun, and I will let you go through them as we go along. So the first and foremost, I will talk about family. How would somebody set a family about goals regarding family and family life? Blessing.
So I would say like take a look at what you want with your family. So for example, if you feel like you're not spending as much time with them, you could set goals in that area. If you feel like, oh, we spend all our time inside, let's go outside, let's, like go sightsee or something like that. So kind of just sitting back and looking what you want to change about your family or improve, I'd say, about your family life.
Wonderful. What about you, Nessa?
Well, I think that there are two ways to go about it, because it could either be about the family that you were born into, or a family that you're raising if you're slightly older. So if it's a family that you're raising, then thinking about how much work you're going to put into your job, and then if you're going to be spending more time or more money on your children. And then obviously working on building a better relationship with your partner as well is important. Thinking about schools and education and all this family planning and all those kinds of things. And then if it's with the family you were born into, then maybe saving up for holidays, or just making sure that you're not losing touch with them. So staying in touch as much as possible. And I guess maybe also spending holidays with each other, like Christmas or Easter or any of those kinds of things.
Wonderful. And in terms of family, I remember when we sat with Donia Na, the education specialist, to talk about these things. I think that was the first time it really dawned on me that yes, sometimes we are living our lives and thinking that we've got everything sorted, but of course there is a better way of doing things, and actually getting closer with your children, getting closer with your spouse, and even just making the whole family to bond better. So yes, family goals are important, and it is not only just the time with us together, but doing fun things, because you could be stuck in the house together all day. And then yes, you are not actually enjoying life and enjoying yourself. Or all of you could be on gadgets all the time, or watching TV, and that's not really family time. So actually consciously thinking about what can you do together, so that you are advancing your lives as a whole. Now, the next thing is F is friends. Blessing.
So I'd say like goals surrounding your friends. So like goals for socialization. Maybe if you last year you hadn't seen them as much, you can maybe put a goal down to talk to them more, get on the phone with them more, just to keep your friendships going and make sure that they don't die.
Yeah, so friendship is also a relationship. So Vanessa, your take on that, please.
Well, I guess, well, for me, especially now that I'm in year 11 and I'm going to be moving on, and not going to be with my friends all the time, I guess now the importance of being online and making time for your friends online is really important. So if you're going to be doing FaceTimes, or going on house party together, and just making sure that you're not completely losing touch with them. And then also just making sure that they feel like they have someone that they can trust and they can talk to or seek advice from, those kinds of things. And then there's obviously the going out aspect. So maybe that you want to go out with your friends to restaurants more often, or the cinema or whatever. And then maybe even setting money aside for that and time aside for that.
Wonderful. I think, and for us adults as well, I think at some point I had to consciously write in my goals the times I really want to call people, so that otherwise you could be so busy that you even forget calling people. And in that sense, the what I've realized is that the more or the longer you take to actually reach out to people, you find that there's that gap and that withdrawal, and before you realize, you have no friends left. And in whatever we are doing, yes, we are all looking for the money to pay the bills and to be able to be comfortable, but at the same time, relationship is so important. I was speaking to one lady, I think a few days ago, and she was giving me just updating me about her life in the last month or two. Unfortunately, her husband contracted COVID, and the rest of the family was in difficulty. And she was really honing in on this issue of relationship. And that was interesting to me. She said, even her neighbors, she said it was her neighbors who came to her rescue. Like the neighbor was there all the time for her. And in the UK, for instance, that is, I think that's the major problem that we have, that we don't even see our neighbors, we don't know our neighbors. And that is something that perhaps is something that we need to be thinking about and developing as far as this year is concerned. So the next thing is fun. I know Blessing love fun. Go on.
So fun is just like ways to enjoy yourself, and I mean it's pretty self-explanatory, to have fun, to just be able to relax every now and then, and not just be so serious. So like again, fun could like literally just be meeting your friends or finding different things to do. Maybe you like a certain sport or a certain hobby, then you could look for clubs that do it, find like-minded people who maybe would want to join you, and just finding things that you could use as a wind down to just relax yourself.
Awesome. Nessa, what about you? Fun?
Yeah, I think fun is a really important one, and I think that it's often overlooked as well. Because I think especially in the business space, it's usually hustle, 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 and we forget that rest and recovery and pleasure is also very important if you want to keep this up and be realistic about it. Because if not, then you're just going to burn out. So just making time, maybe every week or every couple of weeks, to really do something that you genuinely enjoy, do something to wind down, and to relax, just so that when you're going back to doing your work, you don't feel completely exhausted and you can actually produce work that you're proud of. So yeah, pleasure could be anything really. For some people, it's going out and socializing. For some people, it's just staying indoors or spending time with their family, even watching TV, playing games, just anything really, or maybe even improving their hobby.
Wonderful, wonderful. I remember when you talk about fun, I follow this young man who is a social media guru, a 20-year-old millionaire, started his business long ago. And he was explaining about sometimes when you are looking for, when you start a business, it's just the go-go. It's because you use the word go-go. That's what has made me to remember that. He said it's just go, go, go. But then you realize that after you've got all the money, you would think, okay, what next?
Yeah.
So it's better to incorporate all these things in the journey and make it fun and make it enjoyable, so that, when you are there, you are fully and more accomplished as a person, and as an asset to yourself and to your society. Now, the next thing is fame, your business.
So firm, again, business. So kind of putting goals aside for what you want to achieve. If you have your own business, or maybe you're working for a business, you've got a job, then putting down goals on what you want to achieve. So say you've got a job, maybe you want to get a raise or a promotion. If you've got your own business, maybe you want to sell more, maybe you want to branch out with what you provide, maybe you want to hire people because you're getting bigger. So just sitting back and looking at where you want to be in regards to work, and work pretty much.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes. What about you, Nessa? In terms
So I think it's slightly similar to Blessing's one.
there's
but but if you see a business that you really want to work for, like for example, if you wanted to work at Twitter headquarters or something, let's say, you think you need to think about the steps that you need to take in order to get to that level. And just thinking about things like job interviews or looking what all the other employees are doing and seeing how you can be able to stand out against them, and all those kinds of things. And then if you're going to be creating your own business, then I would say thinking about what kind of service you would want to provide for other people, and how you're going to be able to achieve that. And then obviously factoring in things like your finances, time, specifics, all of those kinds of things. And yeah, just seeing how you'll be able to manage it and grow it effectively.
Wonderful. I'm not going to even touch that one because you've nailed it so perfectly. Fitness, blessing. And I know you are very, very, very fit. Okay.
So fitness is pretty much like self-explanatory. Sorting out goals for your health. Maybe if you want to get more healthy, then putting down goals to improve your eating, or goals to do certain types of exercises, or they can literally just be simple goals like walk more, or go outside for a walk, go biking. Even the small things can make a difference, but just improving your health.
Wonderful. Let's, Vanessa, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I
When it
think
comes to health, or fitness, I know that, you are the guru on that. So,
not quite. I'm getting there. I'm getting
I
there.
mean, healthy eating, yes, I know. So,
Yeah,
you,
yeah, I think
you kind of mislead people on your Instagram page with all the junk that you
I
post.
know. Yeah, yeah. I don't actually eat as much junk as what's on there, but yeah, I think fitness is a very important one. I think especially now with all the quarantines that we've had, people have gotten really used to just sitting and working at home and not actually exercising since gyms are closed. And then also getting takeaways all the time because you can't be bothered to cook all the time because people aren't used to being at home anymore. And even though we're getting out of lockdown, or we will be getting out of lockdown gradually, I think people are going to stick to those habits of not exercising and not eating healthy anymore. So I think it's really important to start setting goals now, fitness related goals, just so that you don't slip and stay into the habit of takeaways and just sitting around all the time. So yeah, Blessing said this, but fitness could be health related, as in like eating. So maybe it could be, I'm going to start a healthy food subscription, like one of those HelloFresh boxes, for example, or I'm going to stop eating as much McDonald's as I do, or I'm going to buy an air fryer so that I don't have to use as much oil, those kinds of things. And then there's obviously the physical aspect of it as well. So just doing like home exercises, yoga, swimming, all kinds of different things.
Wonderful. Well, not so much about swimming at this moment.
Oh yeah.
We could do yoga, we could do Zumba, and
Yeah.
even indoor jogging, but not so much about swimming. So hopefully we will be out soon and
Yeah.
enjoy the outdoor space and outdoor lifestyle. Last but not the least is your faith. So faith could be different. We have, I mean, we are Christians, but of course, faith can transcend just one religion. Your ability to meditate and all that. What would you say about that, Blessing?
So I would say with fate is maybe like, for example, like if you believe in God, then keeping your relationship strong with God, praying, whatnot. Maybe if you're not really in a religious in a sense, then it could be more on meditation, affirmations, things that are more of you and the universe working together, if that makes sense, so that it's not just, oh, faith, I'm not religious, I can't really do that.
Great. That's really powerful because, like you're saying, some people would say, oh, especially when they say faith, they just say, I'm not religious. But then it goes beyond just religion. Vanessa, what about you? What's your take on faith?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that you need to be religious in any sense to have faith. I guess there is a benefit if you are religious because you probably believe in a higher power, and believe that no matter what you do or no matter how many times you fall, you'll be able to get back up, and be able to seek advice from that upper strength that you believe in, whatever religion you are. But if you aren't religious, then I guess you could focus on your mindset more, so meditation, reading those self-help books because they're all everywhere, and I think a lot of these business and self-help books actually relate to the Bible a lot, because they take the teachings of the Bible and kind of twist it to fit a non-religious way so that everyone can relate to it. So even if you aren't religious, then you could just read those business self-help type of books, and I think they'll be able to give you the same kind of value.
Wonderful. I like that point of the self-help books. Actually, it's true that most of them, I think I would say all of them, because I've read a lot of self-help books, and I can see the correlation between them and the Bible. But of course, they don't usually mention the Bible, so it doesn't really matter if you are a believer, like you said, it's great because then you have the higher power and your trust in God is something that will sustain you. But then, of course, if you don't want to have any believe in God or the universe, just believing in yourself is something that it can keep you up and motivated in the low times. They say what happiness doesn't last because it depends on the happenings. And then when you talk about happenings, it can't be just at the height all the time. There are low and high moods, regardless of who you are and where you are at certain parts of the world. But you being grounded in terms of your ability to meditate, your ability to just be grateful, because gratitude just makes you really reflect on the things that you have achieved and want to, that you have achieved so far in life, and that makes you feel great. Thank you so much, girls, for being part of this today. It's taken us longer than normal,
Yeah.
but it did take us a challenge to start from the word go because the internet won't work for some reason. But here we are, we've been able to share all this information regarding certain SMART goals. So it's got to be specific, it's got to be measurable, it's got to be attainable or achievable, it's got to be realistic or relevant to your values, and it has to be time bound. These five specifics are very important when you set your goals. And also in terms of the goal setting, you need the goals to also align with your values and with your life being holistic. And that is the 7 F's of goal setting that we have discussed. And those are your families, your fitness, the fun you have together, your friends, your firm, that's your business, also whatever is left, I can't remember. Yeah, so do go through the video. If you like it, give us a thumbs up, share it. We would definitely be here next week to be sharing another powerful information that will help you through your 2021. And if you're an adult, I encourage you to let your children watch this. Why? Because Blessing and Vanessa are young women. Vanessa is 15, Blessing is 18, and they have already established their own businesses, and they are, by God's grace, doing well in terms of helping other clients to market their businesses. So getting your children to watch these things are sort of motivation. And I remember that is what I used to do. I used to send them everywhere in London to programs where they will see for themselves, because if you have a motivated child and you support that child, of course you as a parent, your responsibility is to expose them as much as possible to opportunities so that they can feel that whatever it is that is in their minds that they have been thinking and dreaming about, then it becomes crystallized, and they can just go fly, because believe it or not, this is their era. Internet is the thing that they were born into. They cannot even believe when we say that there were no internet in the past. So yeah, so you parents, I encourage you to share the video with your children and let them set goals. When we started setting goals and vision board, I think we didn't mention that a vision board is quite important. You know, they can literally tick the vision board, the things that they have achieved since they've started a creative vision board. So that is what I'll leave you with, for you to know about how to do a vision board. You can check that on YouTube. All right, then, see you next week. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.